My story begins with my parents. They were both born and raised in Dickinson, North Dakota. They were both brought up in Catholic setting and with conservative views. They ended up meeting by being in a band together. My mom was a singer. My dad played guitar and bass. This was kind of the bond that created our family. I remember they were in a band up until I was about 8 years old. And my younger brother and I all had this influence of creativity and expression in our lives because of this. My brothers both pursued music as their outlet, where I pursued art. My mom was an artist as well, and it was more comfortable for me to express myself through the form of fine arts because I'm a lot more of an introvert than the rest of my family. They're all comfortable and they love, having the spotlight on them, but I'm a little bit more, I like the more passive route when it comes to expressing myself. It was the easiest way for me to let out my inner voice, let people know that I do have views and opinions on things, and I view the world a little differently, but without having to directly say it. Through going through school, art was definitely my thing. I was known for it, and it was something that I always felt comfortable doing, and I've always felt in my element, had my zone when I did it. It also served as kind of my relief from the world, or as a coping mechanism. My parents had a rough marriage. They had lots of arguments. At one point, my dad moved out, they were separated, and they were back together. It was very inconsistent with their feelings towards each other. And I feel like I'd felt that directly, and I would express it through paintings and drawings that I'd post on my bedroom door when they were fighting. Instead of telling them directly how I felt, I made these signs and posted them for them to walk by and just casually see, hoping that they would understand how I was feeling. And then as I got older, my brothers both got sucked into drugs. My older one spent time in prison for it, and I spent a lot of time in rehab interventions with them. And this definitely, put a burden on me. I felt like I was losing myself in this world of dysfunction that my family created, between my parents not getting along and then adding the stressor of my brothers, not finishing high school, being out, being in the ER because of an overdose. It felt like I had to play mediator in my family. Because of that, I felt like I kind of lost sense of who I was and what I wanted to do with my life. But art was always there as kind of my coping mechanism for it. When I started college, I was pursuing a degree in chemistry. Where I'm from, they push careers in engineering and these sustainable, science-based careers. I was thinking pharmacy or, optometrist, just because I was always told that I need to work towards money. Money is important. My family struggled with that. We filed for bankruptcy when I was in second grade. My dad had a business and he never paid his sales tax, and so it just fell under, and we all kind of took a hit for it. And so when I started college, I was very torn about how I would incorporate art into my life. And after taking a few more college courses, I had an instructor have a very serious talk with me about how art is what I should be doing. He saw real potential in me, and that was kind of the driving force that I needed to hear, considering I didn't get the support from really anybody else to follow that. So I got both of my associates there, and then I was still caught up in my family drama, and I would get to the point where I couldn't take it anymore. I'd have these panic attacks, and I just couldn't enjoy my time with my family. Every time I had to be on edge. And so when I was trying to figure out where I was going to go to pursue the rest of my career, I had no clue that I'd end up in Portland, Oregon. It's just some people fell into my life at the right time that were from here, and it made this an easy decision, an easy transition for me. Also, the thought of displacing myself from my family was very nerve-wracking, but at the same time extremely liberating to know that they can't have that impact on me. Their stress they have to cope with, I can't be there for them. Physically, I can't, I can be there emotionally when they call me, but I can't be thrown into the middle of it. And, the times being 1,300 miles apart was tough. My dad had a heart attack just this last August, and that was the most helpless feeling in the world for me, to not be able to know what's going to happen, to hear that he collapsed in the ER and that they don't know what's going to happen and that it was a severe heart attack. It really put things into perspective for me. But this distance has allowed me to make myself happy and pursue my art career and be able to have more of appreciation for my family and reflect on the impact that they had in my life. Even if there were negative experiences, they ended up turning me into the person I am today, and being out here definitely makes me realize that. So I'm very excited to see what more Portland has to offer me. Everything feels like it ended up the way it should. My family is starting to finally organize their own shit out, and that is a huge relief for me. And that's how I ended up where I am.